Guys, can you see the picture? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
yes. Can anyone tell me what is a built-up column? What is a built-up column? The last class we solved double angle section as a compression member. So in this class, let us go with the laced column. So before that, I want an answer from you. What is a built-up column or built-up section? Anybody? Okay. Built-up sections in general made up of two or more individual sections. Can you able to listen to me? Yes. So built-up section is generally made up of two or more individual sections. Which are those? It might be I section, it might be channel section, it might be a plates, correct, angles. So two or more individual sections made up of single unit is called as built-up section. Same way here, consider two channel sections or see here. Here, two channel sections placed face to face. In the second picture, two channel sections placed back to back. Can you able to see this dotted line on top of channel section? And here in I section, dotted line, small dotted line. I hope you can see this small dotted line. This is in terms of plan, this black thick line what you can see. And same thing if you look at in the elevation side, see this is how it looks. The inclined line is called as lacing systems. The inclined line. If you want to see in practical, see this is how it looks. See the inclined portion is a lacing arrangement made and which is made to channel sections placed. The image is not clear, I guess. The two channel sections placed back to back. Okay. So what is the reason of providing lacing? See, sometimes for economical design of heavily loaded long columns, we need to reduce the section instead of providing two individual sections. Correct. So same way, to connect these individual sections, we need to provide an arrangement of a lacing pattern. Okay. Considering some connecting system known as lattice system also it is called. Somebody is telling, let me in 1 second. Yes. So this is the lacing arrangement and the concept or the problem solving method is same as the compression method. I mean, how you used to design an angle section or an I section. Along with that, you need to select these lacing systems. What is the thickness of the plate or what is the width of the plate, what is the length, and what is the radius of gyration. All these you need to decide, but it is clearly given in code book, that is IS 800. Just open compression member in IS 800 or open page number 48. In IS 800 open page number 48. All of you open IS 800. Open the compression member. In that, go to page number. See, just for introduction part I'm showing you. I will not show this for the rest of the class. You need to open. See here, laced column 7.6, laced columns, page number 48. All of you open and keep this. Below that you can able to see in page number 49 the different types of lacings. Open this. All of you opened? Hello, anyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So what you are able to see in that for the first part?
Preferred lacing arrangement.
Yes. Once again. Basically, lacings are flat or angle sections or normally used as lacings. Usually, the lacings are connected to the main members with a single bolt at the end. Rarely, sometimes two bolts are used. Okay, but it is not required as the stresses producing in that particular corner is very small. The lacings are designed as compression members and then check for tension also. Normally, see, a single lacing system is satisfactory, but the designers consider to be double lacing system as it is a superior in design. And this lacings is not going to design to carry compression load. Okay, column will be designed to compression load, but the lacings are provided just to hold those compression members or individual members to be in position. Okay, if you open in the same page, failure modes of latticed column, is it available? Hello, anybody? Okay, no problem. If you open that, open again page number 48 only. You need to understand before solving the problem how to consider these lacing arrangements. Only then only you can able to solve the problems. Okay. So now initially members comprising two main components laced and tied should, this is the 7.6.1.1, right? Same way, go with the 7.6.1.3. Just read the 7.6.1.5 says the effective slenderness ratio, that is KL by R, for laced column shall be taken as 1.05 times the actual KL by R value, that is slenderness ratio. Why we should consider 5% extra? Because the lacing systems will be having a transverse shear due to the compressive load. Okay, to counteract that, we need to consider this portion. Same way, what is the width of the lacing bar you should consider? Go to 7.6.2, page number 50. The width of the lacing bar should be, if it is a bolted or riveted construction, the minimum width of lacing bar shall be 3 times the nominal diameter of the bolt. See, it is given if you consider 20 dia bolt to fix the lacing systems, then the width should be 3 times the dia of the bolt. Same way, what should be the thickness of the lacing bar? The thickness of flat lacing bar shall not be less than 1/40th of its effective length. How you will consider effective length? Again, for that also, a provision is provided. And next, what should be the angle of inclination? If you look at the figure, there is some angle of inclination, right? What should be that angle of inclination? That should be not less than 40 degree, and it should not be greater than 70 degree. And what is the spacing of the lacing? Spacing of the lacing means see here in this picture, the vertical distance C is the spacing of the lacing. Vertical distance C is the spacing of the lacings. You should not consider from this portion to the vertically. Okay, you should consider two edges as the lacing distance spacing of the lacing. C here it is denoted. And next, where lacing bars 7.6.5 spacing is done, right? And the maximum spacing of lacing bars, whether connected by bolting or riveting or welding, shall also be such that maximum slenderness ratio of the components of the main member, that is A1 by R1. A1 means this spacing and R1 is radius of minimum radius of gyration. It is given just below. Just check. Between the consecutive lacing connection is not greater than 50, or it should not be zero point 0.7 times the most unfavorable slenderness ratio for the member as a whole. This, while solving the problem, you will understand. And where lacing bars are not lapped from the connection to the components of the member, they shall be so connected that there is no appreciable. This is not going to use in our case. And next, while designing the lacing, you should consider some percentage of load. How much you should consider? That will be 2.5% of the axial load. Whatever the axial load provided in the question or coming on the column, in that 2.5% of the load you should consider. Okay. Same way, that can be called as transverse shear. See, the lacing shall be proportioned to resist a total transverse shear Vt. Okay. Same way, if you go to 7.6.6.3, the slenderness ratio KL by R of the lacing bars shall not exceed 145. Okay. And go to 7.6.8, end tie plates. Laced compression member shall be provided with tie plates. Sometimes it is also called as end tie plates. If you look at this picture, 1 second, I'll show you. See here, this horizontal member is called as end tie plates in this picture. And next, these are the some of the example for laced columns in general. See, it is a bridge truss constructed on the bridge. See, this is also same way. Single lacing system is used here. If you look at close, see here, single lacing system is used. So let us take one problem for your better understanding. See, this is how the failure may takes place in the lacing system. These are the different modes of lacing arrangement. Yes. This is the batten mode, batten type. Yes, take this problem. Design a suitable double channel built up column. See, it is mentioned double channel built up column 8 meter long to carry a factored axial load of 1100 kilonewton. Factored. Both ends of the column are restrained in position but not in direction. That means to say it is hinged. Provide single lacing. You need to provide single lacing system. Assume steel of Fe 410 grade and bolts of 4.6 grade. Sketch the design. This question is asked in the June 2012 question paper for 15 marks. Okay. So what are the data provided? Factored load is given, that is Pu 1100 kilonewton, and length of the column is given 8 meter. And next, both ends are hinged. So the constant will become 1 and the effective length remains 8 meter. And Fe410 steel, it is mentioned. So ultimate stress will be 410 Newton per mm square and yield stress will be 250 Newton per mm square. And 4.6 grade black bolts, which is having ultimate strength of the bolt as 400 Newton per mm square. It is mentioned in the question double channel built up column. So you need to place two channels. It is not mentioned face to face or back to back. Okay, only double channel is mentioned. See, this is how the channel will be. And what are the design steps? Initially, design of channel section as a column, and for that design of lacing system, and then connection of this, and then design of end type plates. So I hope you are clear with the design of channel section because you have done in the previous classes. So let's go with the same procedure. See, this is the channel section placed back to back because it is mentioned two channels, double channel section. And the distance between these two channel sections is considered as S. This S should be placed in such a way that, see here, the radius of gyration of the combined column about the axis perpendicular to the plane of lacing should be greater than the radius of gyration about the axis parallel to the plane of lacing. That means to say, see, usually IYY value or RYY value will be less than the ZZ value. Correct. But here we should place this S value in terms of RXX is equal to RYY or RYY is equal to or greater than RZZ. You'll understand this. So before selection of the section from the steel table, we should know area. How you will get the area? Area will be based on ultimate load as well as FCD value. Initially, we are not knowing the FCD value. So let us assume compressive strength FCD as 125 Newton per mm square. So based on load and FCD value, we are going to get this is for trial section. Okay, later on we are going to check whether this is adequate or not, whatever the section we provided. So using this FCD and PU values, we are going to get area as 8800 mm square. So for this 8800 mm square, which is having two channel sections, this area is combination of two channel sections. So let us consider for each channel, it will come 4400 because we are providing two channels. Area of each channel will become 4400 millimeter square. So now open steel table and go with the 2 ISMC 300 at 351.2 Newton per meter. Open steel table, all of you, and tell me what is the values for this sectional properties for ISMC 300 back to back. It should be placed back to back. I'll show you for your reference once. All of you open your steel table and check ISMC 300 placed back to back. See here. It should be placed in this way. The code book I am referring is different, so the page number will be different. These are the channel section placed back to back, and this distance is yes. Okay, so open this page and ISMC, this is the value told. (300) at 351.2 Newton per meter. For this, area is 4564 mm square and breadth of the flange is 90 millimeter and depth is 3.
ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿ ಆಡೋರು ಫುಟ್ಬಾಲ್ ಆಡೋರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಅವ್ರ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಆಡೋರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ
Rohit, okay, these are the sectional properties for ISMC 300. It is breadth of the flange, depth. You know how to take the sectional properties from the steel table. And what is this CYY value 23.6? If you open steel table, you will understand CYY value. That will be available in the channel section, individual member. Open ISMC 300, individual member. And check what is CYY value. See here. Is C value? Anyone? Yes, here it is. See, center of gravity in YY direction. In the figure, if you take a close look, see it is given in top, CYY. From the vertical plane to the CG of this particular member in YY direction. So that is 23.6 millimeter, because this is necessary while we placing the channels back to back. See here, this distance is spacing yes, that is from channel, between these channel distance is yes, and the CG distance is CYY for both the direction. And next, once you note down the sectional properties, let us provide two channels back to back at a spacing of yes, as shown in figure. I have shown you on top. We need to calculate this spacing in such a way that we should place those channel section at a spacing in such a way that, see here, the spacing yes should be provided to make radius of gyration YY for the whole section should be greater than or equal to radius of gyration ZZ for the whole section. Open page 48 and check. So if this condition satisfies, obviously moment of inertia also for YY section will increase in terms of or ZZ direction. So in general, if without spacing, if you see what happens, generally Iyy will be less than Izz, right? But in this system, we should not follow this. We should place the sections in such a way that this Yy value greater than or equal to ZZ values. Okay. And next, now if you want to place in such a way that we should equate Iyy of the section is equal to Izz of the section. See here, what is this 310.8 into 10 power 4? You just note it down here. See here, Iyy 310.8 into 10 power 4 plus area. ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ. Okay, so we are just equating YY with respect to ZZ. If you do that, we are going to get spacing as 182.4. This is in terms of ZZ direction because two channel sections are there. 2 times we just multiplied for both the sides. This is in terms of Y direction and this is in terms of Z direction. If you look at the figure properly, see this will remain same plane for Z for all three, but Y plane remains changes. That is why we have calculated from this axis to this point. That is Iyy plus area into distance. Distance is S by 2 plus Cyy. See here, S by 2 plus Cyy square as H square. This is area. So if we equate this, S value we got 182.4. Let us fix it as 185. So obviously now YY value is greater than ZZ value. So now check for adequacy. Least radius of gyration is equal to square root of I by A in terms of ZZ is the minimum now. As we increase the spacing, ZZ comes minimum. So in this case, radius of gyration is 118.1 millimeter. And the effective slenderness ratio, we should increase actual thing as 5%. We should increase as per the code. If you open page 48, 7.6.1.5 is mentioned. So actual slenderness ratio is KL, effective length is 8 meter and R value just got 118.1. If you multiply with the 1.05 to increase 5%, the value you got is 71.13, which is less than 180. So it is okay. So once you got slenderness ratio value, go with the table 9C. Why we are going with the table 9C? Because buckling class is C, as it is a built-up column. Buckling class will be C, so we need to go with the table 9C, which is available in page 42 of IS 800. So for KL by R 70, FCD value in the direction of 250, yield strength is 150, and for 80 it is 136. For 71.13 after interpolation, we get 150.19 Newton per mm square. So once you got FCD value, again resubstituting it back to calculate the design strength of the section. So PD is equal to area, effective area of the section we considered, multiplied by FCD, that is design compressive strength. So we got 1371 kilonewton. The section what we have placed ISMC 300 back to back at a spacing of 185 is able to resist how much? 1371 kilonewton. But it is supposed to carry 11 0, that is 1100 kilonewton, correct. So what we can say after looking these values, the section is adequate, but it is uneconomical. But okay, the section is adequate. Let us write down. We shall provide two ISMC 300 at 351.2 Newton per meter. If you want to revise the section, you can revise, or else just make a statement and continue. So the next step is new for today's class. Till here we used to do in our previous classes. Correct. So from today, this is the new thing you need to understand. This is design of lacing. What is lacing? Lacing is an arrangement. If you look at this figure, you will understand. See here, this is the channel sections placed back to back, and to hold these two channel sections back to back, we made an arrangement or introduction of inclined member, that is lacing system. So now you need to design or decide what is the width of the plate, what is the length of the plate, at what angle you should place, and what is the spacing. All this you should design. Okay, let us go one by one. Design of lacings. We are providing a single lacing system because it is asked in the question itself. What should be the angle of inclination of the lacing? It is given in the code book, that is page 50 of IS 800, class 7.6.4. The angle should not be less than 40 degree and should not be greater than 70 degree. So let us go with the 45 degree angle. And what should be the spacing of the lacing? Spacing means, see in the picture, from this point to this point. Vertical distance is called as spacing A1. So how to calculate that? Once you provide it to 45 degree, if you take horizontal line here, see this horizontal line distance is hello. See, this horizontal distance is equal to inclined distance, right? So once you got, not inclined distance, vertical distance, because you are providing it 45 degree from here to here, whatever the distance comes, same distance will remain from here to this point. If you multiply with the 2, you will get to the bottom also. So how to calculate this horizontal distance? You know the spacing is 185 because we have provided. After that 185, what is the CG distance? See here, 185 plus 50. Here we have mentioned bolt we are going to provide at a distance of 50 mm from the base of the eye section. Okay, so from here to here the distance is 50 plus 185 plus 50. So multiplied by 2 will give us vertical distance from here to here as well as here to here. The total spacing is 570 millimeter. And here A1 becomes the unsupported length of the column component. See, this is an distance of unsupported length. So let us move further. Minimum slenderness ratio of individual channel. See, individual channel, if you consider this channel, if you open ISMC 300 individual channel page in your code steel table, you will find 26.1 millimeter. So let us check A1 to R1. A1 is what? This distance. R1 is what? Least radius. Will give us 21.84, which is less than 50 as mentioned in the code. So it is satisfied. Same way, let us check minimum slenderness ratio of the column. How to check? We know that R is equal to square root of I by A, moment of inertia to area. So two channel sections are there, 2 into moment of inertia of channel sections divided by 2 into area of that channel section will give us 118.1 millimeter. We need to increase this value by 5%. So KL by R effective is equal to 1.05 times the actual KL by R value, that is 71.13 millimeter. Or see here, again cross checking in different ways. This one we have already calculated, that should be less than 0.7 times the slenderness ratio. So that is 70% of this value is 49. Again, it is satisfied in these two criteria. So now spacing is what we provided, 570 millimeter is good enough. Let us proceed further. So the lacing design, how much load we should consider for the lacing? I told you in the beginning itself, 2.5% of the actual load or 2.5% of the design load. In the question itself, it is given 1100 kilonewton is coming. So this VT is nothing but transverse shear. To resist transverse shear, we are going to give a section. Okay, so how much load you should consider? 2.5% of the design load. So the design load is 1100. The shear will get, that is transverse shear, 27.5 kilonewton. To resist this 27.5 kilonewton, we should provide a section, that is lacing. See here, provide lacings on two faces. Two faces means if you open channel section, see this is one face, two edges of the flanges, the other side of the flange and bottom side of the flange. So here also you need to provide lacing, and here also you need to provide lacing. So provide lacing on two faces, transfer shear on each lacing. For one side, how much it will be coming? Half of 27.5, that is 13.75 kilonewton. So let force be the compressive, let F be the compressive force in the lacing due to the transverse shear, that is 13.75. It is acting in the inclined angle of 45 degree. Just see this, because lacing we are considered 45 degree inclination. So what F will become? F cos 45 is equal to 13.75 kilonewton force. The actual force will be 19.45 kilonewton. So now we need to decide what is the width of the lacing. Here what the play, this inclined body, what we are deciding, what is the width of the lacing? What is the width of the lacing? Width of the lacing will be, see here, let us, that will be depends on the dia of the bolt. This is also provided in page number 50, 7.6.2 class. 3 times the dia of the bolt should be considered. So what is the dia of the bolt? That can be assumed 16 mm dia bolt. So 3 times means it is 48 millimeter. So let us consider 50 millimeter as the width of the lacing. And what is the thickness of the lacing? Thickness will be depend on, say, effective. This is also provided. Thickness is also available. I mean, what you should consider is page 50, class 7.6.6.3. That is effective length KL is equal to, see, if you look at this diagram, square root of 285. How you got this 285? Just go back here. See, 185 plus 50 plus 50 is the horizontal distance, 285. See here, 285 plus 285 square. This is just Pythagoras. Effective length KL is 403.05 mm. and the thickness will be depends on its effective length. 1/40th times the effective length you should provide as thickness. The effective length is 403 millimeter, and 1/40th of effective length is how much? 10 millimeter you can provide. So provide 10 millimeter thick of lacing bar. And width is how much? We got width as 50 millimeter and thickness as 10 millimeter. Now check for slenderness ratio of the lacing. So how to check slenderness ratio? IZZ value for that particular member. Width is 50 millimeter and thickness is 10 millimeter. So BD cube by 12, if you do in terms of Z direction, you will get 4166.67 millimeter per 4. 50 is the breadth and depth is 10 millimeter, that is thickness. Least radius of gyration R minimum is equal to square root of I by A. I will be in terms of ZZ direction. If you go with YY direction, again breadth will become 10 millimeter and depth will become 50 millimeter. Okay, so the KL by R value is how much? 139.6, which is less than 145 as provided in the code. That is page number 50, class 7.6.6.3. So here also the slenderness ratio for the lacing is satisfied, that is less than 145. And finally, design compressive strength. Once you got KL by R, that is slenderness ratio value, let us go with FCD value. That will be again, because it is a angle or built up member, go with the buckling class C, and go with table 9C of page 42. So for 130 in the yield strength column, you will get FCD value as 74.3. For 140, you will get 66.2. But we wanted 139.6. After interpolating, you get FCD value as 66.52 Newton per mm square. So once you got FCD, what is the next thing? You need to resubstitute back and check the design load. So design compressive strength of the lacing of the section. Lacing section is FCD into area of cross section of lacing, you should consider, because we are calculating strength of lacing. So FCD for lacing is 66.52. Cross sectional area of lacing is breadth is 50 millimeter and thickness is 10 millimeter. Area will be 500 mm square. So if we do so, the load carrying capacity of that particular section, that is lacing, is 33.26 kilonewton. But it's supposed to carry 19.45. So whatever the section, that is 50 millimeter width and 10 millimeter thick lacing system we provided is adequate. So provide cross section, the lacing is adequate, whatever we provided. Next, let us check the lacing flat for tension. In the compression, it is satisfied. Finally, the last step, you need to check for tension also. So how to do this? For tension, there is a two thing you need to check. One is gross section yielding and net section rupture. Okay. So these two, this is in design of tension member, that is next module we are going to learn in detail. For now, just consider these two steps. Gross section yielding, it is TDG, is equal to gross area multiplied by yield strength divided by factor of safety. Gross area is 50 into 10, yield strength is 250, factor of safety is 1.1, which is again available in page 32, class 6.2. So in this case, how much load you got for gross section yielding? 113.64. Okay. And for net section rupture, the formula available from page 32 of class 6.3 IS 800. TDN is equal to 0.9 AN Fu divided by gamma m1. Here you are using net area and ultimate strength. So 0.9. How to consider net area? Total width is 50 millimeter, the plate width. In that you are going to provide two bolts of 16 mm on either side, 16 mm one bolt on the other corner and bottom corner. So if you deduct that whole, you are going to get the ultimate strength as 410. So the net section rupture TDN is 94.46 if you use 16 mm dia bolt. 16 plus 2, 2 is the clearance of the bolt, that is hole. So tensile strength of the lacing bar is, in these two, the least value is 94.46. So it can carry tensile load of 94.46, okay, which is greater than 19.45 kilonewton, which is coming force. So it is good enough to take care of the tension also. So finally, design of connection. Whatever you considered lacing dimension as well as the compression member dimension, you need to connect it, right? So design of connection, considering 16 mm dia black bolts, net area of the bolt will become 157, that is 0.7 times pi d square by 4, and ultimate strength of the bolt is 400 Newton per mm square. You need to check for shear capacity as well as bearing capacity. For shear capacity, you are going to get as 29 kilonewton, and for bearing capacity, it is 64 kilonewton. So the bolt value will be 29 kilonewton because the bolt fails in shear first. So how many number of bolts required? Total force divided by bolt value. Force coming for the lacing is 19.45 kilonewton divided by bolt value. One bolt can carry 29. So one bolt is enough. We shall provide one 16 mm dia 4.6 grade bolt on each end of the lacing bar. As shown in the figure means we should go back to the figure. See here. Here it is one bolt and here it is one bolt. When direction changes again, this is one bolt and here it is another bolt. So once the bolts is fixed, tension is over, design of connection is over, design of end tie plates. See, tie plates are provided at the ends of the laced column. You just open page 51, class 7.7.23. In that it is given what is the depth of the plate you should provide. The effective depth of the end tie plate should be greater than or equal to perpendicular distance between the centroids of the main member. See, that means to say perpendicular distance between the centroids of the main member. See, this is the centroid for the main member, that is CYY value 88.6 millimeter, and the spacing which we provided is 185 millimeter. So S plus 2 times CYY you should provide. S is 185 plus CYY value for channel section is 23.6 will give us 232.2 millimeter, and in other way it should be greater than or equal to 2 times the width of one of the members. What is width of the flange for channel section? It is 90 millimeter. So 90 into 2, 180 millimeter. See, now if you take close look of this figure, it is looking somewhat blur, but it's okay. The total depth of the end plate is 232.2 plus 2 into edge distance. 232 is effective depth from here to here. After that, edge distance on either side of the plate. that is 1.5 times the dia of the bolt hole. So 1.5 times the 18 plus 232. How you got this 232? 232 is 185 plus 2 times CYY distance. These two dotted lines. Distance between these two dotted lines. And that distance is considered here. Plus edge distance on both the sides. So 286.2 millimeter we got. Let us round off to 290 millimeter. We shall provide a total depth of each end plate 290 millimeter. And what should be the thickness of the end plate? Thickness should be available in page 51 7.7.2.3, that is 1/50th of distance between innermost connecting lines of the bolt. So innermost connecting line of the bolt means 185 plus 50 plus 50. This is what the distance you are connecting the bolt horizontally. 185 is the spacing, 50 plus 50 is the where bolt is fixing from the face of the web. So you got 1/50th times of that distance is 5.7 millimeter. So we can go with the 6 millimeter thick of the plate. So we shall provide 365 mm by 290 mm by 6 mm. See, this is the tie plate. This is the 365 plus 290. Horizontal way it is 365 and vertically it is 290 and thickness is 6 millimeter. So with this the problem completes. If now we have placed this channel sections back to back, if it is face to face, how it comes, just try when you are free today. So it is a very lengthy problem. I hope you have many doubts, you can ask me.